Jikook is Jimin's enemy. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Jimin and Jikook are very well known and feared mafia bosses. You are both Korean mafia bosses. You have always tried to kill each other. Asterisk. Jikook and him were at a monthly meeting with other not so well-known mafia bosses. Jikook and Jimin get the VIP seats since you both literally own the mafia world. Asterisk. Jimin spots Jikook. He just stares at him, feeling his hatred for him growing more and more. He was pretty sure that the meeting they are having at the moment had already started. Yet Jimin is staring at Jikook, not wanting to look at him, yet not wanting to look away either. Jikook was his worst enemy, but at the same time, the only person that Jimin has been paying special and close attention to. Asterisk. Jikook felt a pair of eyes on him. He knew exactly whose eyes those were as soon as he felt them on him. Feeling a bit annoyed, he slowly glanced at Jimin, their eyes immediately meeting. He glared at Jimin, not being able to put into words how much he despised him. Jimin smirked when their eyes met. Something about making eye contact with Jikook always amused Jimin. Although the two of them hate each other, Jimin was not able to deny the fact that he found Jikook attractive. Despite it all, they both stared at each other for what felt like hours, not once breaking eye contact. Asterisk. Jikook was starting to get very annoyed with the fact that Jimin was still staring at him with that stupid smirk on his face. He rolled his eyes and looked away, not wanting to look at him any longer. Jimin noticed how easily annoyed Jikook got because of him, and he enjoyed it. It satisfied Jimin in a way, seeing Jikook getting mad at him. He smirked wider. Jimin's smirk faltered for just a second. Had Jikook really called him that? His chest tightened at the words, but he refused to let it show. Instead, he leaned back in his chair with exaggerated ease. What's wrong, Hyung? Asterisk. He mocked. You sound like you're begging now. Asterisk. A beat of silence passed before Jimin added under his breath, or maybe I should start calling you that too. Jimin's smirk dropped instantly. His grip on the armrest tightened, knuckles turning white. That word, Hyung, had never sounded so wrong coming from Jungkook's mouth. Asterisk. His jaw clenched, but he refused to let it shake him. Instead, Jimin leaned forward with a sharp grin. Careful, he hissed. You say that like you actually mean it. Asterisk. A dangerous glint flashed in his eyes as he added under his breath. Asterisk. Or are you just trying to piss me off? Asterisk. Jungkook let out an irritated scoff when Jimin started mocking him. This is exactly why he despised Jimin so much. Jimin was always so good at getting on his nerves, which drove him crazy. Asterisk. When Jimin mockingly suggested that he should start calling Jungkook Hyung, Jungkook's anger increased tenfold. Don't you dare, he seethed through clenched teeth. Jimin's smirk dropped like a stone. His grip on the armrest tightened, knuckles turning white. Don't, he started, voice low and dangerous. Call me that. Asterisk. A sharp breath escaped his nose as he fought to keep his composure in front of everyone. But Jungkook had just crossed a line Jimin didn't even know existed. Asterisk. His jaw clenched before adding through gritted teeth. You don't get to say that word. Jungkook's smirk widened as he saw the flicker of rage in Jimin's eyes. He knew exactly what button to push, and watching Jimin struggle to keep his cool was way too satisfying. Egu tilde, he cooed mockingly. Did I hit a nerve? Poor little Jimin. Can't handle being called Hyung. Asterisk, he leaned back in his chair, crossing one leg over the other with an air of arrogance. Or do you just not like hearing it from me? Jimin's entire body went rigid. The word hit him like a bullet to the chest. Hyung. But not in the way Jungkook intended. It was wrong, twisted, and it made his stomach churn. For a split second, something vulnerable flashed across Jimin's face before he violently shut it down. Say that again. Asterisk, he whispered dangerously. Asterisk, I dare you. Asterisk, his hand twitched toward his gun under the table, as if considering shooting first and asking questions never. Jungkook's smirk only intensified as he saw the effect of his words on Jimin. Aw, asterisk, he tutted, feigning sympathy. Asterisk, asterisk. Did that bother you so much, baby? Asterisk, he leaned forward, a condescending grin plastered across his face. Asterisk, asterisk. Is the big, scary mafia boss Jimin that threatened by just one word. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, he paused, and then the word he knew would hit Jimin the most. Hyung. Jimin's chest constricted painfully. That word, asterisk, asterisk. Hyung, asterisk, asterisk, coming from Jungkook's mouth, felt like a slap in the face. He couldn't explain why, but it stung. It hurt. It was all wrong. Asterisk, he gritted his teeth, his expression a mixture of anger and something he refused to admit was hurt. He'd been called baby and little and doll, and every pet name in the book without so much as a blink. Asterisk, but the one word that shook him was Hyung. Asterisk, Jungkook could practically see the storm of emotions brewing inside of Jimin. That one word, Hyung, had hit him harder than anything else he'd said so far, and that made Jungkook even more smug. Asterisk, he let out a low chuckle, leaning back in his chair with a satisfied smirk. Asterisk, looks like I found your weakness. Asterisk, 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 he teased. Who knew little Jimin was so sensitive over a single word? Asterisk, Jimin had never hated anyone the way he hated Jungkook. At that very moment, he was supposed to be one of the most feared men in Seoul. Yet here he was, falling apart over one stupid word. Asterisk, he ground his teeth, struggling to keep his emotions at bay. Jimin never lost his cool. He was always in control. He couldn't let Jungkook know he was getting to him. But no matter how hard he tried, Jimin's voice came out strained. Asterisk, asterisk, shut up. Asterisk, Jungkook's smirk widened as he saw just how much his words were getting to Jimin. He knew he hit a nerve, one that Jimin probably didn't even realize he had. And it was so amusing to see the mafia boss struggling to keep it together. Awa, he fake pouted sarcastically. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Did I hurt your feelings? Asterisk, he knew he was pushing it. But Jungkook didn't care. He was thoroughly enjoying the sight of the usually composed Jimin unraveling right before his eyes. Jimin's hand clenched into a tight fist under the table. He wanted to reach out and snap Jungkook's neck right then and there, but he couldn't cause a scene, not here. So he had to sit and listen to Jungkook taunting him with that word. Hyung, asterisk, asterisk. That felt so wrong coming out of his mouth. Asterisk, his jaw was clenched so tightly it almost ached, but he still managed to grit out, asterisk, asterisk, stop calling me that. Asterisk, Jungkook's smirk dropped for a split second. Had Jimin just called him that? The way it came out, rough and strained, sent an unexpected jolt through his chest, but he recovered quickly, scoffing. You're the one who doesn't get to call me asterisk. Anything asterisk, 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 asterisk. He leaned in closer, voice dropping to a dangerous murmur. Asterisk, asterisk. But if you really want me to stop, maybe say, please, like a good little enemy. Jimin's eyes widened at the sudden close proximity, his heart rate picking up again, and the way Jungkook said it, the taunting yet husky tone of his voice, made Jimin's stomach lurch with something he refused to acknowledge. Asterisk, he tried to regain his composure, but something in Jungkook's gaze made his words come out weaker than intended. Asterisk, asterisk, please. Asterisk, he hated how the word came out, almost pleading. Asterisk, Jungkook had half expected Jimin to refuse again, or maybe even throw a punch at him, but the almost pleading tone in Jimin's voice caught him off guard. Asterisk, he wasn't prepared for the sharp pang of heat that shot through his chest, and he had to suppress a small shiver. Jungkook had been pushing Jimin's buttons for fun, but now the tables had turned, and he was completely caught off guard. Asterisk, he blinked, taken aback by his own reaction. Did you just plead? Jimin's entire body locked up the second that word, asterisk, asterisk, Hyung asterisk, asterisk, left Jungkook's lips. His breath hitched, his stomach twisting into knots. That wasn't just a taunt anymore. Asterisk, that was something else entirely. Asterisk, a muscle in Jimin's jaw jumped violently as he stared at him, eyes dark and unreadable. Call me that again. Asterisk, 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 he whispered lowly. And I swear to God, I'll make you regret it. Stared at Jimin, his own chest constricting. He'd had the intention of teasing Jimin, of getting a laugh out, of seeing the usually cold and composed mafia boss flustered. Asterisk, but the way Jimin was looking at him, the dark, unreadable look in his eyes, the rough whisper in his voice, it was doing things to Jungkook. He gritted his teeth, trying to fight the sudden heat pooling in his chest. He could not be getting worked up over this. Why? Asterisk, he responded almost breathlessly. Jimin's eyes narrowed dangerously. He could hear the slight breathlessness in Jungkook's voice, and that did not help the strange mix of heat and anger that was currently coursing through his veins. Asterisk, he hated Jungkook. He absolutely loathed him. Jimin wanted nothing more than to wring his neck every time they were in the same room. Asterisk, so why then was his heart rate picking up rapidly at the way Jungkook had just said that? Because it sounds so goddamn wrong coming from you. Asterisk, that response sent a jolt through Jungkook's body. The way Jimin had practically growled out those words, the way he was looking at him with those dark, dilated eyes, God, it was doing something to Jungkook, something he hadn't expected at all. Asterisk, he shifted in his seat, forcing himself to tear his eyes away from Jimin's intense gaze. He tried to steady his racing heartbeat, and when he spoke again, his voice was rougher than he intended. You know what else sounds wrong? Asterisk, 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 Jimin could feel the heat rising in his cheeks at the rough undertone in Jungkook's voice. He swallowed, the sound almost audible. He needed to get a grip. This was Jungkook, the man he was supposed to loathe. Jimin was not allowed to find anything about him attractive, yet he found himself leaning closer, unable to look away. What? Asterisk, he asked, his voice betraying a hint of curiosity and something else. Asterisk, asterisk. Jungkook noticed the flush on Jimin's cheeks, the way he leaned in ever so slightly. It made his heart rate pick up again, but he fought to keep his demeanor casual. Asterisk, he paused, letting the tension build for a moment before speaking in a low voice. Asterisk, asterisk, that pet name. Asterisk, Jungkook leaned in closer, almost leaning across the table. His gaze flicked from Jimin's flushed cheeks to his slightly parted lips before meeting his eyes again, his own voice huskier than intended. Asterisk, asterisk, baby. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Jimin's breath hitched. That damn pet name. The way it came out of Jungkook's mouth, it sent a shiver down his spine and heat straight to his stomach, pooling between his legs. He knew Jungkook was doing it on purpose to get a rise out of him, yet Jimin found himself unable to snap back immediately. Asterisk, he had to bite his tongue to prevent a curse from spilling out, and when he finally spoke, his voice was embarrassingly breathy. Shut up. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Jungkook's gaze darkened at the breathy sound of Jimin's voice. That was a reaction he hadn't been quite expecting, and damn, it was affecting him a lot more than he wanted to admit. He couldn't stop watching the way Jimin's lips parted slightly when he whispered that last sentence. He was supposed to be pissing him off, not getting him hot and bothered. Asterisk, his eyes flicked to Jimin's flushed cheeks, and a sharp pang of desire shot through him. Jungkook leaned even closer, closing what remained of the distance between them. Make me. Jimin's entire body stiffened, his eyes widening in sheer disbelief. His face burned hotter than he'd ever admit, and for a second, just one damn second, he considered actually doing it. You're insane. Asterisk, he hissed under his breath, but the way Jungkook was looking at him, with that infuriating smirk, made something dangerous stir in Jimin's chest. Asterisk, he leaned back abruptly, as if physically forcing himself to put distance between them again. He couldn't let this continue. We are enemies. Asterisk, Jungkook watched as Jimin leaned back, putting some distance between them again. His eyes tracked the movement, his own chest constricting a little. He had to admit, seeing Jimin flushed and flustered was a sight he was starting to really enjoy, but he couldn't let himself get carried away. They were enemies, goddammit. They hated each other. Or at least, they were supposed to. Asterisk, he ran a hand through his hair, trying to regain his composure, as he let out a low scoff. Asterisk, asterisk, yeah. We are. Asterisk, Jimin couldn't understand why his body seemed to react so violently to Jungkook's presence, to his proximity, to his words, to his goddamn smirk. It was infuriating and embarrassing, and Jimin absolutely hated it. He couldn't let Jungkook get under his skin like this. Asterisk, he crossed his arms, hoping to hide the slight tremor in his fingers. He had to get out of here, away from Jungkook, away from whatever was making him feel this way. I need a goddamn smoke. Jungkook's smirk faltered for a split second as Jimin abruptly stood. The sudden movement made his chest tighten. Had he gone too far? He didn't like the thought of Jimin leaving, not when they were finally getting to this point. He leaned back in his chair with forced casualness, but there was an edge to it now. Running away already. And here, I thought you had thicker skin than that. A pause. Then, quieter, you better come back. Jimin froze mid-step, his hand still on the doorframe. The words, you better come back, hung in the air between them like a threat and a plea all at once. He didn't turn around. He couldn't let Jungkook see how much that simple sentence had just unraveled him. Why? His voice came out rough, betraying more than he intended. So you can call me baby again. Jungkook's heart rate sped up again, hearing the hint of emotion in Jimin's voice, that rough, strained quality that Jimin couldn't quite hide. The way his voice cracked slightly on the word baby. He took a deep breath, trying to push aside the strange mixture of desire and uncertainty that was coursing through him. He leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms over his chest and feigning indifference. But the truth was, he didn't want Jimin to leave just yet. Not like this, because we're not done here. Jimin's hand tightened around the doorframe until his knuckles turned white. He was torn. Part of him wanted to snap at Jungkook, tell him to shut up and leave him alone. But the other half, God damn it, he took a shuddering breath, his mind racing. He couldn't believe he was even entertaining the thought, but he found himself hesitating instead of storming out. The tension in the room was practically palpable, and it didn't seem like that was going away anytime soon. Fine. He finally gritted out. One more minute. Jungkook's eyes widened slightly at the sharp command, his body reacting instinctively. His breath hitched as Jimin leaned in closer, too close. His voice, a low growl that sent an involuntary shiver down Jungkook's spine. He had to swallow hard before responding, trying and failing to keep the slight tremor out of his own voice. Or what? He challenged weakly. You'll make me, like you just said. The air between them was practically crackling with something dangerous now, and Jungkook wasn't sure he wanted it to stop anymore. The way Jungkook's voice wavered a little sent something thrilling up Jimin's spine. Damn it. This was not how this was supposed to go. They were supposed to be enemies, not whatever the hell this was. Jimin wanted to step back, to put some distance between them and get a grip, but his body refused to cooperate. Instead, he found himself leaning even closer, their faces mere inches apart now. He could practically feel the heat radiating off of Jungkook's body. God help him, I just might. Jungkook's heartbeat picked up again as Jimin leaned in even closer, their chests almost touching now. He could feel heat radiating off of Jimin's body, and God, it was driving him insane. That dark, dangerous look in Jimin's eyes, it was doing things to Jungkook that he couldn't even begin to understand. Asterisk, he took a shuddering breath, his gaze flickering down to Jimin's lips for a moment before meeting his eyes again. His voice was a hoarse whisper. Asterisk, then do it. Jimin's self-control was rapidly flying out the window. The way Jungkook looked at him, that dark, heated gaze, the low, rough whisper of his voice, it was pushing Jimin to his limit. He couldn't think straight anymore. All he could focus on was the fact that Jungkook was so damn close. Asterisk, his self-restraint snapped. In one swift movement, Jimin grabbed the front of Jungkook's shirt and smashed their lips together violently. Jungkook's entire body froze for a split second. Then he was kissing Jimin back with equal ferocity, his hands flying up to grip the other man's shoulders. It was rough, messy, and asterisk, completely asterisk, unhinged, the kind of kiss that felt more like a fight than anything else. Asterisk, he could feel Jimin's teeth against his bottom lip. And damn it, if that didn't make him groan low in his throat. They were supposed to be enemies. This wasn't how this was supposed to go. Asterisk, asterisk, F asterisk CKU. Asterisk, asterisk, he growled between kisses. I still hate you. Jimin's fingers tightened around the fabric of Jungkook's shirt, practically yanking him closer. He could feel Jungkook's hands on his shoulders, the way they were gripping tight enough to leave marks. God, he should pull away. They shouldn't be doing this, but every thought in Jimin's mind right now was screaming, demanding more, more, more. Likewise, Yuba's asterisk ard. Asterisk, 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 he bit down on Jungkook's bottom lip, hard. I hate you, asterisk. And then their mouths were crashing together again. Asterisk, asterisk. Jungkook cursed under his breath as Jimin bit down on his lip, the slight pain only fueling the heat coiling tighter in his stomach. He couldn't get enough of Jimin, like this, angry, rough, possessive. It was unlike anything Jungkook had ever experienced. God damn it, it was addicting. It was dangerous. Asterisk, his hands were now gripping Jimin's hips, pulling him closer, even as he let out a scoff between kisses. Asterisk, asterisk, you're going to be the death of me. Jimin's hands moved to tangle in Jungkook's hair, fisting the strands harshly. It was messy and chaotic, and so goddamn good. The way their bodies were pressed together, the way their lips moved frantically against each other, like they couldn't get enough. Asterisk, he broke the kiss briefly, panting, his voice rough and wrecked when he spoke, his forehead pressed against Jungkook's. Asterisk, asterisk, the feeling's mutual, you idiot. Jungkook's hands slid under Jimin's shirt, seeking skin. The way Jimin was gripping his hair sent a jolt of heat through his body. God, they should stop this. They were enemies. They weren't supposed to be doing this. But the feel of Jimin's body, so close to his, the heat and the friction between them, all that only fueled Jungkook's growing desire. Asterisk, he let out a guttural moan as Jimin's forehead pressed against his, the sound rough and unfiltered. They were both panting, the room charged with a heady mix of tension and lust.